capital in Manipur, Pankaj. Yet again, people talk about reconciliation, people will talk about social and economic fault lines, people will talk about how positive steps are being made, progressive steps are being taken. See, accommodation is being made. Look, we've got so many guns that have been recovered. Are you kidding me? Another 15 houses that have been burnt, another cross firing exchange of bullets, this time around near the Myanmar border. And the army men continue to say that the army's job is not to protect law and order of the state. The army's job is to protect the country. It is the police and the local administration's job to protect the law and order in the state. But what essentially is happening on ground is it's mind-boggling. Another 15 houses that have been torched, another slew of violence that is erupted over there, 15 houses that were torched, fresh clashes that have been reported, and flesh violence. I mean, I misplaced that particular word, but flesh violence is also something that's happening over there.
Turn of events in Manipur is something which is giving sleepless nights, not just to the forces and the police administration there in Manipur, but also in a way giving them enough reasons not to let their guards down. What has happened as of now in Manipur is the fresh spate of violence. That is one aspect. And secondly, the issue of Meitei women coming out in a way showing solidarity to the Kuki women who were being paraded naked. And yesterday we saw visuals from Impal where there were women folk who were clearly saying that bring back NRC, no separate administration, and the SOO should be disbanded. So these were the demands, and yet they were in solidarity with the women folk who were attacked on 4th of May in that purported video.
As Manipur's Moreh town, Pankaj. Moreh is a town on the Indo-Myanmar border in Manipur's Tengnopal district with a mixed population. Mixed population, it seems, in the current situation, because there is proper separation of, a proper separation of geography. There is mental separation, there is physical separation. They now need administrative separation is what their demand has been from the longest time. Moreh, this town near the Indo-Myanmar border, has a mixed population. Many people from the Meitei community were displaced from there during the course of the violence in the recent months. In Moreh, now houses have started to burn, Pankaj.
Obviously, this fire of is not going to stop unless there is a clear demarcation, a clear mandate out in this regard. And it's not just the civilian population or the residential areas that have been targeted, Kabir. I mean, if you take a look at the morning newspapers, obviously all of them are flanked with the news on how the security forces buses too have been set on fire. Manipur में कांगपोकपी जिले में सुरक्षा बलों की 2 बसों को लोगों ने आग लगा दी. घटना तब हुई जब बसें दीमापुर से आ रही थीं. So it is not just with the sheer power and mob support that is there. I think it is difficult to maintain law and order, and even the armed forces are finding themselves at the receiving end of this mob mentality. As far as the incident that you are mentioning, obviously border areas become more susceptible to incidents like these, because once you talk about migration, these particular border areas obviously are the most densely populated when it comes to mixed cultures and mixed tribes also, for that matter, and mixed nationality also, if we consider the migration part there. So in that regard, I think it is not just pertinent, but also very important for the administration to take a very holistic view of the overall situation, and not just restricted to Imphal or the affected areas of Churachandpur, but also to the border areas like Moreh, as you mentioned.
This Indian Express copy that I'm reading also says that before this, another incident had taken place at the Sapor Mena in Kangpokpi district, in which two buses that you're talking about, used by the security forces to transport personnel, were touched by a mob. Pankaj, security forces being targeted. Union ministers' houses have been set ablaze. The convoy of a DGP level officer has been attacked. The Indian Army personnel are forced to go back to where they come from, and now security buses are being set ablaze. Is there any point of return in Manipur?
Well, Kabir, if you ask me very honestly, I would say not in the near future and not with the kind of proceedings we are seeing. If we cannot discuss, if we cannot, address the elephant in the room in the highest seats of power in New Delhi in the parliament, and sheer politics being played over it, that who should blink first, who should respond. I think it is not going to go anywhere. I'm not playing any blame game here. Whether the opposition is responsible, or the government is responsible for not discussing it, because that is a kind of fix that I think obviously is only being done to
Do you
get
think
political
discussion in the
mileage.
parliament is going to, help put balms on the sorrows and the pain and the wounds of the people back in Manipur, and also the chief minister stepping down? Isn't that going to become like a headless chicken sort of a situation? Don't you need your chief minister?
Well, again, chief ministers stepping down would, I would say, not just be, a decision that would be done on political lines because he has failed to perform, supposedly, in the eyes of the majority of the Manipuris, or for that matter, he has failed to deliver or maintain law and order. Political aspect of it, only the BJP and the opposition would know. But as far as the performance aspect is concerned, as far as the delicate situation in the state of Manipur is concerned, that way the decision should be based on that. If removing a chief minister who has there been in power for the last 1.5 years, whether it makes Manipur more vulnerable to not just external aggression but also to internal rift, will that be the case? Will that also impact BJP's fortunes in the upcoming elections in neighboring states? That's one aspect. Thirdly, how would Biren Singh take it? All those aspects are there. But yes, a separate administration, a removal of the chief minister would happen only when the issue is being talked nationally. And when things are raised in the parliament, it makes it to the morning newspapers. It reaches to the corners, the remotest corners of the country through live broadcast, through several medium, including Doordarshan, which broadcasts the proceedings of the House on a regular basis. So that way, the impact is palpable. People get to know about it. So it's very important as of now that Manipur finds a very decent and elaborate mention in the parliamentary proceedings, and not just celebrating, the Northeast and giving away some awards to a few deserving people is what Northeast needs as of now. It needs a very closer look about the tribal issues, about the land distribution issues, about the border aspect of it, whether the border villages, how we are going to handle that situation. All those things need mention, and obviously parliamentary records stay for a very long time. People refer to them time and again. So that acts as a checks and balance and a reference point for the future generations also to come.
Well, I mean, every time I move on from the topic of Manipur, every, other morning, it just pains my heart to see that not a lot of, great strides are being made over there. And, the kind of ground reports that we're getting from there, Pankaj, the sophistication of their weaponry, they know exactly how far the other camp is. They're using binoculars. They have night vision, paraphernalia. They also have the right kind of Kevlar and bulletproof jackets. And let's not even go near the guns, because makeshift mortars to sophisticated AK-47s. We've seen visuals of both of these, and this is complete sophisticated guerrilla warfare at its prime in Manipur.
Oh, yes, Kabir. I mean, ask me about it. the kind of weaponry that the both the sides, I would say, if we consider that there are two sides as of now at play, and the third one being the armed forces and the police. So this Kuki and Meitei divide has basically also created independent, battalions, and most of the guns and ammunitions being stolen from the police armories is a clear cause of worry, because they are not just one-to-one combat guns. They are almost of army grade, which can be used in an all-out war also, including the light machine guns to several high-powered, very modern technology or guns that is there. And as you mentioned, night vision goggles and all those things also make it very the situation very critical. There is a normal saying as of now, which many of the journalists are sharing on social media, Kabir, those who have now finally went to or gone to Manipur, is that the moment the lights are out, the moment the sun is down, firing starts. That is one aspect that is quite worrisome, as to the situation from the outside might be just dwelling, the reportage might be just dwelling on, uh, big arson events, big attacks on by the mob. But as far as the smaller nitty-gritties are concerned, then I think the situation on ground as of now is far, far more critical than what we can see or envisage sitting here almost 1,000 and 2,000 kilometers away from Manipur.
Well, we'll have to wait and find out. Even as there was an all-party delegation that went and met the Manipur governor. There was a press conference that happened as well. What's going to happen next in Manipur is, quite frankly, anybody's guess, because the visuals that you're seeing on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, that's the situation right now. Open warfare, sophisticated weaponry out there in the open. I was hearing a particular conversation between the Meitei and the army personnel, and the Meitei is categorically asking the army personnel that how were you able to complete the entire combing operation in just 10 minutes? This is unsuccessful. We're not happy with this combing operation. You couldn't find any militant, any terrorist out in the forest area, and you are done with the combing operation in 10 minutes. The army personnel at a loss of words. That's the situation right now. The Meitei is calling out the Kukis calling out the Meiteis. What's the end over here? Well, nobody knows, and it seems like nobody's willing to give peace a chance as well, not just in Manipur, in the neighboring states as well. A tit for tat that was witnessed in Assam, Meghalaya Chief Minister's office that was attacked and vandalized. What's going to happen in the northeast? Because that's the bigger question, the larger northeast question. Well, we'll have to wait and find out.